Boyce Watkins, to you first. Herman Cain says some of his critics are racist. You now believe he's a racist. That's a pretty heavy indictment. Stick by it?
Yeah, I think that Herman Cain, to some extent, is the perfect racist, because racism is most effective when it has a black face. A lot of people think that being black means you can't be racist, but we have black people who have problems with dark-skinned black people who have problems with poor black people, etc. You even have women that will sit on a jury during a rape trial and say, oh, her skirt was too short, or she shouldn't have been out that late. So you have women that hate women and black people that can effectively promote an agenda that was not created by them, but is accelerated by the color of their skin. Because remember, no other Republican candidate could really get away with talking about race as much as Herman Cain has. And to some extent, he's at risk of really turning his entire campaign into a big political gimmick, because you see Hannity and guys like him really using him to say those things that maybe they're afraid to say themselves.
Ken Blackwell, is Herman Cain a racist?
No, I don't think Herman Cain is a racist. I don't think that Harry Belafonte is a racist because he says Herman Cain is a bad apple. I think race is being used in this instance all around the table to repress differences in opinion. And when race is used to repress dissent, it is wrong on all sides of the table. Look, Herman Cain is a Republican. He is conservative. He believes that he has a prescription for growing the economy, creating jobs, and providing opportunity for all Americans, inclusive of black Americans. So I think the name, John, I think name calling has gone too far.
Right. You say name calling has gone too far. We've known each other a long time, and your involvement in Ohio politics, including being the Secretary of State. You are among the African-American Republicans trying to build support in the African-American community. Is the language Mr. Cain uses helpful to that effort to have more blacks join the Republican Party, or hurtful?
I think Mr. Cain's prescription for growing the economy is helpful. I think when he says that folks who differ from him have been brainwashed, that is not constructive. But I don't think that calling him a bad apple or saying that he's on a symbolic crack pipe is helpful either. Look, people want folks, you know, it's as if the African-American community was drowning 50 feet offshore. They don't want somebody to throw them a 100-foot rope and then drop their in to find something better to do, or throw them a 25-foot rope and say, you swim would do you good. They want somebody who would throw them a 50-foot rope and hold on to their end. That's what we have to get back to.
Boyce Watkins, what about the larger argument Mr. Cain makes about a lack of ideological political diversity in the African-American community, and the fact that many liberal African-Americans do criticize conservative African-Americans, saying they're somehow abandoning their community?
Well, you know, one of the best-kept secrets in America is that many black people are very conservative. I'm from the South, and there are a lot of people in my family who really want to like Herman Cain. Some of his values are in perfect alignment with their own. I think that what Mr. Cain might want to pick up on is this simple word called dignity. You've got to run your campaign with dignity. You can't run around making these ridiculous statements one after the other and allowing people to use you as this racial fireball. Remember, Colin Powell was also a conservative. Many people loved and respected Colin Powell. To this day, many people respect him. I know I do. And there's a big difference between the way a conservative like Colin Powell would run a presidential campaign versus Herman Cain. You know, this idea of gimmicks and sort of turning yourself into a black male Sarah Palin or a black male Rush Limbaugh, that might be great for selling books or getting a radio show, but it's not what people are going to look for in a commander-in-chief. Actually, I would argue that he's acting a little bit more like a court jester as it stands today.
That fair? A court jester, Ken?
That's outside the pale of talking about human dignity. Here's a guy that grew up in a low-income family, went to school, did well, created jobs, and actually hired black folks and white folks and Latinos. You know, he in fact has lived the American dream. And basically to say that he is, you know, I've seen him depicted as Sambo by the left. Is that promoting human dignity? No. I'm saying that both sides have to get back to what people are looking for. They're looking for leaders who inspire hope and create opportunity and pull us together to get something done. And I think that I've heard Herman Cain over the last 20 years. He can be that sort of leader, and I think he, in fact, needs to advance his program and say, this is what